In the world of WWE, Superstars amaze fans not only with their explosive matches but also with the unique looks and styles that became part of their identities. However, time is always a great challenge, and many former wrestlers have changed so drastically after leaving the spotlight that fans can barely recognize them. From muscle-bound warriors and once feared faces to legends known for their distinct personas, all of them now carry an image that is completely different from the past. 10. Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose was once one of the most recognizable faces in WWE throughout the past decade. With his rebellious, unpredictable, and reckless persona, he quickly carved out a unique identity that set him apart from his peers. From his early days as a member of The Shield alongside Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, Ambrose was remembered by fans as the lunatic who feared no one, always willing to throw himself into any fight regardless of the consequences. His gritty, street-style approach to wrestling and his erratic charisma made him a crucial figure in WWE for many years. However, when he left the company in 2019, Dean Ambrose, reclaiming his real name, Jon Moxley, embarked on a completely new journey. In AEW and various independent promotions, Moxley became even more daring and extreme than the version fans had once known in WWE. This shift was not only evident in his in-ring style, but also in his physical appearance, which underwent a dramatic transformation. Back in WWE, Ambrose was often seen with messy hair, a scruffy beard, and a lean but not overly bulky physique. In contrast, Jon Moxley now presents an entirely different look. He keeps his hair cut short, sports a fuller, rugged beard, and exudes a colder, more intimidating presence. Years of intense training and the demands of a brutal wrestling schedule have reshaped his body into something more solid and muscular, giving him a tougher, more imposing image. Fans who saw him in AEW were stunned by how much he had changed from his WWE days. Moxley is no longer the wild but fun lunatic people once cheered for. Instead, he has evolved into a hardened warrior, brutal and ferocious, radiating intensity in both his appearance and fighting style. This transformation has left many longtime followers almost unable to recognize their former favorite, yet most agree that he has now discovered the strongest and freest version of himself. 9. Adam Rose. Adam Rose was once remembered as a lively superstar, always arriving with a festive atmosphere and a flamboyant party vibe. His party guy persona brought laughter, entertainment, and something a little different to the WWE stage. However, despite the fun energy he carried, Rose never truly reached the peak of his career. While his character was unique, it quickly revealed its limits, as the novelty and charm couldn't be sustained for long. It wasn't a surprise when WWE released him in 2016 after a run that failed to deliver any standout accomplishments. Life after WWE, however, took Rose in a completely different direction, especially in terms of appearance. In the past, he was known for his playful, even somewhat lean look, but today many fans would barely recognize him. Rose went through an intense transformation, dedicating himself to serious strength training and bodybuilding. The results were jaw-dropping. He put on nearly 80 pounds of solid muscle, sculpting a physique that looked like it belonged to a professional bodybuilder. In 2019, Rose shocked fans when he unveiled his new look on social media. In those photos, the former leader of the Exotic Express displayed a massive frame with bulging arms and chiseled abs, a complete contrast to his old party animal image. He also opened up about his personal journey, emphasizing the discipline and persistence it took to change his body, strict workouts, rigorous dieting, and sheer determination. Many WWE fans were both surprised and impressed, since very few can achieve such a dramatic transformation. Today, when people mention Adam Rose, the party animal gimmick isn't the first thing that comes to mind anymore. Instead, what stands out is his remarkable reinvention. His transformation not only made him nearly unrecognizable, but it also highlighted the resilience and willpower he carried to reinvent himself once the spotlight of WWE had faded. 8. Sunny. In the 1990s, Sunny was considered WWE's ultimate beauty icon, a figure who helped reshape the perception of women's roles in professional wrestling. More than just a charismatic manager, she was regarded as one of the most influential female personalities of the Attitude Era. With her striking looks, radiant smile, and captivating style, Sunny quickly became a fan favorite worldwide. At her peak, she was everywhere, appearing on countless shows and practically serving as the face of WWE's explosive rise during that era. But that spotlight didn't last forever. After leaving WWE, Sunny's life took a turbulent turn. Personal struggles, legal troubles, and health issues completely altered the image of the once celebrated goddess of the Attitude Era. When she showed up at later events, many fans could hardly recognize her. The youthful glamour that once defined her had been replaced by a visibly aged face and a much heavier frame. What makes Sunny's transformation so striking is the stark contrast between her past and present. Once seen as the perfect prototype, the trailblazing diva who paved the way for future generations of female wrestlers, Sunny now shocks fans with an appearance vastly different from the one they remember. Although many look back with regret at how her image changed over time, there's no denying Sunny remains a defining figure in WWE history. She stands as proof that a wrestling career can catapult someone to fame but also leave them unrecognizable once the spotlight fades. For Sunny, her dramatic physical transformation has made her almost impossible to identify to those who once hailed her as the goddess of the 90s. 7. Ahmed Johnson. In the 1990s, Ahmed Johnson was one of the most prominent figures in WWE. With his powerful, muscular build, impressive speed, and hard-hitting style, he quickly stood out and became one of the most physically imposing wrestlers of that era. Johnson even made history as the first African-American to win the Intercontinental Championship, an important milestone in WWE's legacy. At his peak, he embodied the image of a fierce warrior, with chiseled muscles and an explosive in-ring style that electrified fans. However, after parting ways with WWE and during the later years of his career in WCW, that larger-than-life image began to fade. According to several of his contemporaries, Johnson showed signs of neglecting his training and losing control of his weight as the late 1990s rolled on. This decline not only affected his performance in the ring, but also drastically changed his appearance. Some reports even suggest that his significant weight gain was one of the main reasons WCW decided to release him. Following his full retirement, Ahmed Johnson's physical transformation became even more noticeable. On the rare occasions he appeared at events for former wrestlers, fans were often shocked by how different he looked. Once admired as a symbol of strength and athleticism, Johnson now carried a heavier, less agile frame, a stark contrast to the imposing figure of his glory days. Ahmed Johnson's transformation stands as a clear example that without consistent discipline and dedication to fitness, even the most impressive physiques can change dramatically. For many longtime fans, seeing a once dominant star become almost unrecognizable was bittersweet, as they still remembered the explosive, powerful Ahmed Johnson who once thrilled audiences inside the WWE ring. 6. Bull Nakano. Bull Nakano is remembered as one of the most iconic female wrestlers in professional wrestling history. It wasn't just her exceptional in-ring ability that set her apart, but also the striking image she created that made her unforgettable to fans worldwide. At a time when many women in wrestling were often presented with glamorous or conventional looks, Nakano chose a path that was entirely her own. Towering, elaborately styled hair dyed in bold colors, paired with fierce face paint and daring designs. This unique presentation gave her a fierce, intimidating aura, turning her into a figure many opponents feared to face. During her active years, Nakano not only stood out with her distinct persona but also proved herself with impressive accomplishments. She captured the WWE Women's Championship, cementing her status as a symbol of strength and independence while paving the way for future generations of female wrestlers. Her image at the time was inseparable from explosive power, intense performances, and a presence that commanded attention every time she stepped into the ring. However, after retiring and stepping away from the spotlight, Bull Nakano's appearance changed drastically. The woman once known for her massive hair and dramatic makeup eventually embraced a much simpler, more traditional look. In her more recent appearances at international wrestling events, Nakano has been seen with a calm, composed demeanor, so different that many fans hardly recognized the fierce warrior who once struck fear into her rivals. This transformation left many admirers both surprised and reflective. It highlighted the natural journey of growth and change that even legends experience. From a fierce, larger-than-life persona to a graceful and understated presence, Bull Nakano shows how time and personal choice can completely reshape one's image. Yet, no matter how much her appearance has evolved, her place in WWE history and women's wrestling as a whole remains firmly secured. 5. Mideon. During the Attitude Era, Mideon was a familiar face in WWE, especially when he became part of the Ministry of Darkness, a faction led by The Undertaker. With his eerie persona, long hair, and bold in-ring style, Mideon managed to carve out a unique identity, even if he wasn't among the company's top-tier stars. He even captured the European Championship at one point, forever securing his place among the champions of that golden era. However, after stepping away from the spotlight in 2006, Mideon chose to leave wrestling behind entirely and pursue a completely different path. Unlike many of his peers who turned to Hollywood or continued performing on the independent circuit, he decided to dedicate himself to the kitchen. Trading the ring for the stove, Mideon reinvented himself as a full-time chef, determined to build a serious culinary career. What truly shocked fans was how dramatically his appearance changed over the years. Back in his wrestling days, Mideon had a relatively lean frame and his signature long hair. Today, he looks almost unrecognizable, sporting a shaved head, a fuller face, and a heavier build. Recent photos reveal that the dark, unsettling image of his past has been replaced with a friendlier presence, one more fitting for a devoted chef. According to some of his former WWE colleagues, Mideon has found considerable success in his new profession. While his transformation may make him difficult for longtime fans to identify, it also highlights an important reality of life after wrestling. Not everyone seeks to chase the spotlight forever. Some choose peace, fulfillment, and a new passion outside the ring. Mideon is living proof of that. 4. Lex Luger. Lex Luger was once known as the Total Package, a wrestler celebrated for his flawless combination of physique and presence. During the 1990s, he stood out as one of WWE's brightest stars, showcasing massive muscles, an imposing frame, and undeniable confidence. To fans, Luger represented pure strength, an intimidating superstar whose aura alone demanded respect and caution from his opponents. Yet the glory of the Total Package did not last forever. After leaving WWE, Luger's life took a dramatic and unexpected turn. In 2007, tragedy struck when he suffered a severe spinal cord injury, leaving his once powerful and chiseled body frail and weakened in ways few could imagine. The image of the muscular icon fans remembered lived only in memory. When Luger reappeared in public following the accident, many were stunned by how drastically he had changed. For a long period, he relied on a wheelchair, his frame appearing thin and fragile, his face marked by the toll of illness and age. Countless fans found it difficult to believe this was the same man who once embodied the dominance of the Total Package inside the ring. Despite enduring immense physical and emotional pain, Lex Luger displayed remarkable resilience. He chose to live a simpler life, turning toward faith and inner peace, while maintaining a sense of optimism. His near-total physical transformation shocked audiences, but it also served as a powerful reminder of how fleeting the glory of sports entertainment can be. Today, Lex Luger may look far different from the iconic figure he once was, but his legacy remains intact. He is remembered not only as a legend of WWE but also as a man whose story reflects both triumph and hardship, proof that greatness is defined not just by glory, but also by the struggles that reshape us. 3. Spike Dudley. In the memories of many WWE fans, Spike Dudley will always be remembered as the fearless underdog, the man who bravely stood toe-to-toe with giants in the ring without hesitation. Despite his small stature, he carried an unyielding fighting spirit, never shying away from punishing bumps and brutal collisions in order to deliver thrilling matches. That fearless attitude helped Spike carve out his own legacy, becoming an unforgettable part of WWE history. After leaving the company in 2005, Spike Dudley continued wrestling for a few more years, appearing in TNA as well as on various independent circuits. While he was no longer performing on WWE's grand stage, he still gave fans the same intense, high-risk action that had defined his career. By 2015, however, Spike decided to retire, closing the chapter on nearly 2 decades in the business. From that point on, Spike largely faded from the spotlight. Fans were left with memories of him as the scrappy, daring fighter, while few knew that he had chosen a quieter, simpler life after retirement. That's why when he suddenly reappeared on WWE's digital show The Bump, audiences were stunned by his new look. Gone was the skinny, wild-haired daredevil of the past. In his place stood a more composed and mature Spike Dudley. With a noticeably different face, neatly kept hair, and a calm demeanor, he was almost unrecognizable to those who once saw him as the reckless risk-taker of WWE's past. Spike Dudley's transformation reflects the natural evolution of a wrestler once the ring lights dim. From a fiery underdog who threw his body on the line to a man who now embraces a modest, quiet life, his journey shows growth and change. Still, the memories he left behind in WWE will forever remain a cherished part of wrestling history. 2. Snitzky. During the Ruthless Aggression era, Snitzky was one of WWE's most controversial figures. His career is most often associated with his infamous rivalry with Kane, a storyline that quickly made his name recognizable to fans. However, instead of being built up as a true monster, he gradually shifted into more of a shock value character rather than a legitimate force in the ring. This change in direction ultimately prevented Snitzky from ever reaching a higher status within the company. Throughout his WWE run, Snitzky went through two very distinct looks. His first persona featured slicked-back long hair paired with a trademark goatee, giving him a menacing but somewhat traditional heavyweight wrestler appearance. Later, WWE completely overhauled his image. In this second version, Snitzky appeared with a shaved head, a clean-shaven face, and most notably, chemically stained teeth that turned a grotesque yellow, adding an unsettling, almost disturbing quality to his character. Since leaving WWE, Snitzky has embarked on a new path, dedicating himself to bodybuilding. Recent photos of him have shocked fans, as he now sports an enormous physique, looking even more muscular and imposing than during his wrestling days. His condition today is often considered the best of his entire career, reflecting years of discipline and commitment to intense training. The most striking feature of Snitzky's current appearance is his long, impressive beard, which combined with his familiar bald head, gives him a completely new identity. From the controversial giant once remembered for bizarre storylines, Snitzky has transformed into a powerhouse with a look so different that many fans would hardly recognize him if their only memory is from his WWE run. 1. Tyler Reks. Tyler Reks once appeared in WWE as a promising talent, but he never truly managed to secure a spot in a roster already crowded with top stars. With his tall frame, solid muscles, and distinctive dreadlocks, Reks had the look to stand out. He even teamed up with Kurt Hawkins, forming a tag team that showed potential. Still, despite his appearance as someone worth investing in, WWE never seemed to have long-term plans to elevate him into a true star. As a result, the name Tyler Reks quickly faded into the background and eventually disappeared from the spotlight. After leaving WWE, Reks' life took a turn no one could have predicted. From being a heavyweight wrestler, he gradually stepped away from the sports world to focus on family and personal work. But the biggest turning point in his life came in February 2021, when he publicly came out as transgender. This courageous decision shocked the wrestling community, as Reks' appearance completely transformed, bearing little resemblance to the towering athlete once seen in WWE. Today, many fans who see Reks' current image, now living under a new name after transitioning, find it hard to believe this is the same person who once carried a powerful physique, wild dreadlocks, and a fierce in-ring style. From a competitor who endured brutal matches, Reks has become a symbol of self-discovery, someone brave enough to live authentically. The drastic change in Tyler Reks' appearance and life may leave some fans struggling to recognize their former idol, but it also leaves behind a lasting message of courage, determination, and the journey of embracing one's true identity beyond the world of WWE. Those were 10 former WWE superstars whose transformations left fans stunned. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and stick with Wrestling Sphere to discover more exciting stories.